Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Hello everybody. Thank you for coming along today to our OEM update and happy hour. If you're on the west coast of America, it's breakfast, and if you're on the east coast, I guess it's lunchtime, hence the brunch. So thank you for coming along. And today, this is today's agenda. Let me just forward that on. I have a slight technical problem, of course. Here we are. So today's agenda, I'm David Grieve. I'm Director for OEM Partner Development at TechSoft 3D, and I'll be giving a quick introduction to the company and what happened last year. I'm thrilled to announce that we've got Michael Folkers here from Autodesk, who's Principal Product Manager for the AutoCAD product, and he's going to be talking about Autodesk's investments in AutoCAD. We're then going to have a sales session, a very unique sales strategy that's going to be presented by Marco Gittmann, who's managing partner at Gittmann and Klein, and then followed by an OEM product update on the latest versions and the activities that we're going to be doing this year to technically support you from Paavo Rantanen, our Senior Consulting Engineer. We have some prizes, which will be a surprise, and then closing remarks from Claus Müller, who's Senior Manager for ISV Build and ISV Bundle Sales in EMEA. So, just to let you know that this session is being recorded, so we'll have a recording afterwards as well. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Director for OEM Partner Development at TechSoft 3D. I look after the team that supports Autodesk in the OEM sales, and I wanted to introduce the team to you briefly. I look after the EMEA and China area for sales. I'm also a keen climber, and I like vertical challenges. We're joined also by Ray Bass, who looks after North America, Australia and New Zealand. He's a keen footballer, hunter and fisher. We've got Paavo Rantanen, who's our technical whiz. He's going to be talking about the new products. He's a keen filmmaker, drone flyer and tegelatologist. And then we're joined by Tamil Vanan Ramalingan, who looks after the Indian subcontinent for sales and new business. He's an excellent cook and master chef. And then we're joined today by a new member of the team, Fiona Minchella. She lives in France. She looks after inside sales. She's a very keen skier and she loves anything made out of cheese. And then if you've not met her, Jen Gartz is our marketing guru. She looks after all of the communications and everything that's sent out globally. She's extremely keen on skiing. She's probably been skiing this today. And if it's not snowing, she's going downhill fast on a mountain bike. So I wanted to run through the highlights from last year. It was an extraordinary year, 2020. And we did a lot of things virtually that we would normally do face-to-face. In fact, this time we would normally be meeting in Barcelona for the One Team Conference extension. And last year, because we were unable to fly, we had to do this virtually. And that was our first OEM update and happy hour. And I have to say, it was hugely successful. We had over 80 people turn up, dressed up in Hawaiian shirts, outfits, Zoom backgrounds, and they brought their own drinks. And we're doing that again. We found that this virtual format is a great way to get over information, share what's happening for you as partners, and have a little bit of fun along the way. We also launched the OEM products into India, along with Tamil and a local development partner called Prototech that we know very well through our Hoops toolkits and other SDKs that we sell. We partnered with a company called AMC Bridge, who are a development expert in North America for an Innovators Forum launch, and also in Europe for an Innovators Forum launch. So basically introducing the OEM products and a partner that can help you take that to market very quickly. If any of you have ever been to our regular training classes, you'll have noticed that we use and make use of the fabulous Autodesk offices that they have all over the world. And we usually do these in different locations to enable people to just travel locally and get there easily. Well, obviously we've been unable to do that in the last 12 months, so we've gone virtual. What we found is that the attendance has actually increased because you can get people from all over the world without them having to fly and stay in a hotel. In fact, from a survey, we found that there were specific topics that people wanted us to cover. So what we're doing now are actual hands-on training classes on specific subjects. Now, we've done 2 this year. We're able to record those and put them on the website and provide material afterwards. So we're building a training resource, and Paavo is going to talk a little bit more about what he's doing around that area this year in a few moments. Last year, we grew as a company. We actually acquired 2 other companies, Citron from Norway and VKI from California. Both of these companies are involved in CAE, Computer Aided Engineering. I'm going to cover that a little bit more in detail in a few moments, so I'll not say too much now. We saw growth last year. I have to say, about this time last year, I was quite worried. I think most people were. We weren't sure what was going to happen. We thought we might come out flat or slightly decline, but we actually saw a bit of growth. We saw a strong rebound in the last quarter of last year and a very strong return to normal almost during the first quarter of this year. Because we weren't jumping on a plane or organising local events, we had a lot more time to do more marketing activities. So we took that opportunity to work with some of our partners to produce case studies, press releases, and contributed articles. So we've got quite a lot of this information now on our website. If you've not done a case study with us or a contributed article in the last 24 months, then please get in contact with us afterwards if you'd like to do one. We have a writer who will interview you, write the article and get it published, and will help you be more successful in your product sales. One of the things that happened last year, whilst I was talking to the owners of companies and CEOs, is that I discovered that a lot of companies have many different products. They have a portfolio. They're obviously not all built on AutoCAD OEM or Inventor OEM, and people are building a range of products. I also found out that people didn't really know about the range of toolkits that we had to offer to help people build these products. So our company motto is fueling innovation for software companies like you with unmatched 3D technology. So I wanted to just give you a quick whistle-stop tour of the toolkits and development platforms that we provide. On the left, you'll see the Hoops products. They're all owned and developed by Techsoft 3D. And as the name suggests, they're all 3D orientated. So Hoops Exchange can read over 25 different 3D CAD file formats. It can also write out to all of the popular kernels as well. Hoops Visualize is our original SDK that we've been selling and supplying to partners for over 30 years. It's based on a PC, a phone, or a tablet, so it's what we call native. There's a small program that's downloaded. And it gives you fast, real-time rendering. It gives you really good support for large models. It's something that you eventually run into problems with if you decide to self-develop this. Coding in OpenGL or DirectX is really quite difficult, and we can offer you some really nice graphical effects like ambient occlusion, which is a great shading effect with just a few lines of code. So all of that knowledge that we took and put onto desktop and mobile and tablets, we've brought to the cloud as well. So if you're developing a browser-based application with zero install, so your customer doesn't install anything, and you want fast real-time graphics, then Hoops Communicator will do that for you. We've also realized that people who produced engineering software, the people who use it are one thing, but the consumers of that downstream are often non-technical, and they need a way to very easily visualize and look at the data and manipulate that data. Hoops Publish lets you take that data and in an easy to use and easy to consume format, visualize, spin it around and look at it. So we're talking about stuff like 3D PDF that can be opened in a standard Acrobat tool that everybody has on their PC today. We actually bought the team from Adobe that invented that format, so we have really good domain knowledge in that area. We also sell some solid modelers, and what we found over the years working with companies is that a lot of engineering companies needed a kernel or a solid modeler to work with. So we teamed up with Siemens, who produce Parasolid, and Parasolid is used in more engineering applications than any other solid modeling kernel in the world. It really is the world leader. So we're very proud to be able to sell that. We also did a bit of an exchange with Siemens. They sell some of our STKs as well. Now, Polygonica is developed by a company called MachineWorks in Sheffield, where I live, and is an extremely fast polygonal modeler. Polygonal means it's triangles, and they're very quick to manipulate, and it's very quick to detect errors in the mesh and fix them and make it watertight. So it's extremely useful for stuff like 3D printing and rapid prototyping processes. The Autodesk OEM products, we all know about those. Just to say that Real DWG is a read and write SDK based on the AutoCAD kernel. It's 100% accurate and reads the latest formats right back to release 14. And then the Citron and VKI product lines, they're quite extensive really. They're almost too many to list here on this slide. They're all to do with computer-aided engineering, so that's finite element analysis or fluid flow analysis. And they provide toolkits to give you pre-processing of the data, creating the correct elements that are going to be put into the solver. And VKI even has some very clever solvers as well that you could use within your products if you so wished. And then post-process, after you've done the analysis, you need a way to look at that data. So you've got these visualization engines, post-processing engines that let you analyze and manipulate all that data that comes out of the solver process. So that's the range of toolkits that we provide. I hope they might be useful for you if you're developing a new product or a new side product, that you might be able to use that to get your product to market quicker and make a better product for your customers.
Okay, so thank you very much, first of all, for having me here. My job today is to bring some yellow, some sunlight to your office and to talk about value versus product, just a few minutes. Before I dive into the topic, just a few words, who we are. Gittmann and Klein, as mentioned earlier, we are a sales and management consultancy with a big focus on sales. And we claim that we help to achieve sales targets together with our customers. So that means that we collaborate on improved sales approaches and therefore help to transform push sales mode to pull sales mode. And what that means will be visible in just a minute. Most of what we do is B2B business and complex product sales. So it's not consumer goods. Very often you have to explain what the customer gets before he's able to buy. And one important thing is that we were the ones who developed the discovery session format that I'm going to talk about today, to that extent that you're going to see if you work with Autodesk today. So most of what we do is consulting, training, and coaching. And just a few words, Marco Gittmann, that's me. I live in Munich, beautiful Munich, which is, well, not as nice as the Caribbean, I think, but it's dry at least today. And I used to work for Autodesk until some years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. And that days I worked with Claus and Eike, who is on the call today, and probably some other guys who are on today. So who do we serve? Of course, we serve Autodesk and several of Autodesk partners, especially in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. But we've been to the Netherlands, Belgium, and other places too, Italy. And these partners range from just 3 people to more than 1,000 people. And I assume one or the other is somewhere here in this call right now. Among our customers, I would say most of the top 10 German partners we worked with, and of course with the Autodesk distribution here in DACH. But not only. So besides that, at least half of our business is startup business, where we help small companies to grow, scale up, so where companies already grew and would like to start the next stage, system integrators, companies who produce and sell hardware. This is more or less what we do and whom we serve. And the question is, why are we here today? So the first two presentations were pretty much focused on products and features and functionality. Our world is different from what you already heard. We are on the enablement side. So our customers are trained or learn ways how to do things differently. And of course, Claus and David asked me, David and Claus asked me to just drop one or the other idea in this session and maybe be an inspiration for you to take away one or the other idea. And with that, I would like to dive a bit deeper into the discovery session enabler or training format that I'm going to talk about the next, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes. So when I started in this CAX landscape, I used to be an application engineer some, I don't know, 20 some years ago, because I'm an engineer, in fact. And that days I had an assumption, and the assumption was that customers or prospective customers are buying features. And the idea was the more features I have, the better the features are, the more likely it is that the customer will buy. And that days that might have been correct in the late 90s. And what we always ended up with when we talked about features was that we had to do benchmarks, that we were compared based on the features and on the prices of the individual modules that we have. And maybe all of you know, discount is always something that you have to deal with. And when you get reduced to the features and the customer complains about a feature that you do not have, you have to pay that with money or you get less. So so that days discount was a big thing, and we rarely had access to top management because they were not interested in features. So they sent us to the technology guys, and we talked to technology guys only. And in that time, it was a pure push mode. We always tried to push technology into the companies, and we did not understand when companies just did not want to buy. And from that, we learned a lot. Today, I have a conviction that the features that we have in all the products that we sell are just a must-have. They have to be there. And the better they are, the better the product is for the end customer. But end customers have to bridge something first. They have to be in a mode where they understand, I need that product before I use it. And therefore, we are absolutely convinced that it is not the feature, but the product value that we deliver. And the value is always expressed in euros, in dollars, in pounds, in whatever currency you have in your place. And one finding over the years was whenever a customer bought products, their value always exceeds the price for the product by magnitudes, 10 times more value for the customer than they paid for the product. And when we changed the selling approach from pushing features to the customer to let the customer understand the business value that he gets, then the game changes. Then the customer is going to pull on you and trying to get your product. And that led us in the past to way less benchmarking. We managed to increase deal sizes, discount. I don't want to say that it disappeared, but it was another game then, because we were able to name the return on investment for the money that the customer spent. And just to express that with a little example, I would like to come back to that push thing. So imagine you went to a do-it-yourself store, you had a few pieces of wood, a few nails, and you would like to build something with these things. So you have these pieces of wood cut nicely, but of course you need a hammer here. And if you go to a do-it-yourself store, the clever sales guy might assume that of course it is a hammer that you need. And of course you need the best-selling hammer this year, which is absolutely rust-proof, free of worms, with never-ending warranty. So feature, hammered to your head. And most likely you might think at that point of time, well, I have 2 pieces of wood, a few nails. Why the hell should I spend $200 here? And of course, the salesperson sees what you think and he says, okay, this week we have a very, very special price. We give you a 25% discount. So it's 150 only. And you as a customer might think, are you kidding me? Are you crazy? 150 for a hammer? No, no way. So this salesperson tried to push that hammer into my head, or hammer the hammer into my head, and he failed because he just had feature argumentation. So let's rewind. The same do-it-yourself store, another clever salesperson today. So you come to that store, you have your wood, your nails, and no hammer. And the clever sales guy was well trained in the spin method. Spin is a way to ask questions in a very, very clever way. And so the clever salesperson would ask you, so what is your situation now? And you might say, well, I would like to build a frame with my 2 pieces of wood or 4 pieces of wood for my new picture that I just created. And the clever salesperson then would not say you need a hammer, but the person would ask, so what is your problem here? And you might probably say, well, I have wood, I have nails, but no hammer, as you can see. And I just failed to get it done, or my picture, I cannot get it done until the exhibition tomorrow. And this word exhibition rings a bell in that salesperson's head. That salesperson might think, okay, there's some money in here. Let's ask another question. So the clever salesperson would ask for the implication if you would not get it fixed until tomorrow. And then you might say, wow, well, if I don't get it fixed, I just cancel my picture. And my customer who is willing to pay $15,000 would not buy my picture because I failed to frame it. And with that $15,000 in the room, most likely you have a chance to talk about, so what if you had, instead of a hammer, if you had tools like this, so a picture frame molding cutter, a mount board cutter, best ever paper, best ever tape, best ever material, and you would end up with a picture, with a frame that would be as good as you could find in the next museum. And of course, if I or you as a customer could visualize this, you would probably say, hey, wow, that would be cool, because my picture would look even nicer then, way nicer than if I just put together a few pieces of wood. And then I could probably A, sell my picture, and B, save the discount. Although this solution might cost me way more than the initial hammer thing, I would go for this. And the reason is pretty simple. it's the push versus pull situation. The discounted $150 pricing from the beginning of my slides was just a big number for a hammer, quite a lot of money. And the clever salesperson managed to put another way bigger number, the benefit, against this investment. So the same sized $150 spending is more or less nothing compared to what I could get, to what I could earn if I bought the even more expensive solution, right? So the idea here is never let the price stand alone, but put the value, put the business benefit of the end customer next to the investment. And if the end customer just compares 15,000 with 150 or 315, it will be a no-brainer. And there's a way how to get there. At the beginning, we talked about the discovery session format, and this is the format that we developed together with and for Autodesk. And this format helps you. The left part of my slide helps you together with the customer to find out what is preventing the customer from being even better, and express that issue in currencies. So you will end up with a business benefit if the customer got rid of his or her issues, expressed in currencies. And once you discussed the issue that the customer had, and then discussed possible solutions that the end customer could imagine, then it's pretty easy for you in sales to ask the customer, if this was a solution from your perspective, when do you want that $1.2 million that we see on the lower left, when do you want to have that? And the reflex that you hear then in 100% of the cases is now or yesterday. And what you can see here is a 4 to 5 hour discovery session format that you can do with your end customers. If you have products that deliver an end customer value, and I bet all of you have customers of that kind. And if it's hard for you to sell your products based on the price, or you are confronted with discount situations, you might probably think about finding the business value together with the customer first, and then probably deliver even more. And if you now considered what is preventing you from making more money, or what is preventing you from making more revenue, more margin, or from selling more units, and probably you found out that a discovery session could be a solution to help you make more money, or make more revenue, make more units, then you might probably want to learn the discovery session format for your own use. And this format is trained in just one day. Could be done either in a physical session where we sit together in your place, post-corona probably, or in a setup like this one where we meet virtually and do it in a remote setup. If we do it remotely, the group size should be limited to 6. If we do it physically, it could go up to 10. And if you have mates around you where you say, we could build a group together and join some companies together, I don't care. That would work for me well. So the offer is, or the idea is, if you would like to do a discovery session, if you would like to learn how that works, if you would like to better understand how to convert technical issues in commercial issues into pull, then I propose let's talk.
Okay, hi everybody, I'm Paavo Rantanen. I will give you a brief OEM product and activity update for this year. We officially released our Autodesk developer products for Windows Desktop yesterday. The announcement will go out today. Both eval and production versions with all supported languages have been made available on our developer zone. Talk to Agnes to get access and serial numbers for the production versions. Talk to David Grieve or Ray Bass for trial versions. And before looking at what's new with these releases, I want to say something about what we've seen in terms of new features in AutoCAD lately. I think it makes sense to do that after what Michael presented and before I move on. Many of the enhancements and improvements we see today in the vanilla AutoCAD product are related to, or rather relying on, cloud services provided by Autodesk. That means web and mobile, drawing history, trace, share, and many of the new things we've seen over the last couple of releases are not included in OEM. And sometimes we get questions about why certain things in vanilla AutoCAD is not in OEM. And you have to remember, a product built using the AutoCAD OEM platform is built on AutoCAD technology, but it is your own unique product, branded as your product under your company name and licensing terms. And that is why certain features like A360, geolocation services, and these new web and mobile enhancements won't be part of OEM. They are simply Autodesk products or services and resources meant for Autodesk end user products. So for this release of AutoCAD OEM, we do have overall improvements of increased stability, performance, and usability. We also get faster performance for 3D graphics and plotting. And a great new feature for designers working with multiple monitors is the floating windows feature that you see in this clip, and you also heard Michael mention. It allows you to detach each drawing window from the main editor and place it side by side. And the drawing windows you see in this clip all belong to the same AutoCAD OEM session. Another new feature or command that is included with OEM is count. It allows automatic counting of blocks or certain geometries in a drawing. You simply run the count command and select the drawing entity type that you want counted. The application menu, sometimes referred to as the big A, that button used to have a both large and a small image, now only has the small image. This means that you don't need to supply the large image in the Make Wizard. If you do only provide the large but not the small image, the large image will be scaled to the smaller format and it may look funny. You might want to make sure you have a small image configured in your Make Wizard project. Michael mentioned that AutoCAD came around in 1982 and Inventor is only half as old as AutoCAD. You could perhaps say it's currently in a development life cycle where AutoCAD was 15 years ago. It's steadily becoming a very strong competitor in the manufacturing software market. There are lots of new user features, API objects, properties, and events in this release. I will cover just a few here. The new release of Inventor introduces UI themes. The dark UI theme has become available across the Inventor and also Inventor OEM user interface. User interface enhancements include adaptations to work across multiple monitors. You may dock property panels or the model browser in other windows. And when you want to consolidate everything back into the primary window, you can easily reset the layout. They have made a lot of improvements to the Inventor UI. Highlight New is a great feature available in Inventor OEM. interactively learn what is new in this release by enabling the What's New Highlight New mode. This is a very handy way to learn about the new features. If you remember, in previous versions, there was a button that just called up some documentation that explained the new features in text. That button is still there, but the Highlight New is just superior to any other ways of getting to know a new end-user software release. Any ribbon or property panel item that is either new or enhanced is indicated with an orange dot. And when you hover the item, there's an extended tooltip indicating if the feature is completely new or updated. This is a very, very nice example of user friendliness. And kudos to the software engineers and developers on the Inventor team. I hope they get rewarded with a bunch of Autodesk stock options. Absolutely brilliant work. A powerful new workflow called model states is added with this release. Model states let you create manufacturing states, simplification levels, and more in the same part or assembly file. You can now create multiple representations of a part or assembly within a single document. This new workflow provides a convenient way to engineer, manage, and manufacture your designs. Because variations exist in one same file, there is no need to worry about breaking associations through different files. Each model state can have unique parameters, properties, and suppression states. You can apply model state to dimensions, features, components, bill of materials, properties, and parameters. The new simplify command replaces both the shrink wrap and shrink wrap substitute commands. With simplify, you remove components and features from complex assemblies in order to make collaboration and downstream use easier. The Revit specialized workflow enables model simplification as part of the RVT export process. Export to RVT incorporates the simplify command to produce an RVT model, Revit model, having only the components and features needed for the Revit design. QIF 3.0 support is added with this release. The QIF export option enables you to export a quality information framework file which contains PMI data. It's an ANSI and ISO open standard CAD format. Yeah, like I said earlier, there's more, a lot more of those orange dots. It just doesn't make sense to go into detail on each one in this session. And frankly, I have not had the time to look into Inventor OEM much more than this. We just got our hands on the software last week. Real DWG 2022 SDK is released. Some of you may not know that we also offer this SDK for DWG access, both read and write, in a standalone Windows executable. No need for AutoCAD or any other products. It does not provide APIs for user interaction, displaying, drawing, or plotting. It supports object enablers from AutoCAD verticals, civil, architectural, and MEP, as well as third-party object enablers. The runtimes, the Real DWG runtimes are included with commercial products like Revit or 3D Studio Max to access DWG formats. It's royalty-free and the only SDK that allows 100% accuracy and reliability from the proprietary owner, Autodesk. And like David said earlier, it's compliant with DWG versions from the current 2018 format all the way back to R14. So let me say a few words about the Autodesk and Textile 3D partnership, mainly as a clarification of the different roles and responsibilities, what to expect from us. The products that I just mentioned are all developer products. They are provided exclusively by Textile 3D as a sales channel. However, the OEM toolkits are Autodesk products owned and maintained by Autodesk. The main reason for this cooperation is our long history of partnership, and that Autodesk is an end-user software company, while Textile 3D is a major player in the software developer business, providing second-to-none 3D software since almost 25 years. Therefore, any new features or enhancements and stability improvements need to be taken care of Autodesk according to their internal software design, development, and QA process. Autodesk provides all documentation, product and API learning, online resources, technical blogs, forums, knowledge bases for the Autodesk Developer Network community. Excuse me. Textile 3D provides training, technical support up to first customer ship, getting you up to speed on the OEM toolkit so you can learn the platform and tools, meaning you can get to market faster with a better, maintainable, and more competitive product. One way we do this is to provide training. So normally we host on-site OEM training classes in various European and US locations. These are attended by both experienced developers from existing partners, as well as new developers or developers from new partners or prospects. But since the pandemic, we have instead offered virtual training. So far, we have done 11 sessions on 5 different topics. The previous hands-on classes have been very well received, and we plan to do a few more during the rest of the year. Each class is published on our developer zone with video material, slides, exercises, code samples, and anything needed to go through the exercises at your own pace. This is a great OEM developer resource in addition to the material provided by Autodesk and ADN channels. We have released the IFC Reader 1.1 for AutoCAD OEM and AutoCAD. It comes with several bug fixes, improved performance of loading, parsing, and geometry creation, an improvement ranging from 65 to 80% to the previous version, according to our own tests, and that variation depends on the type of IFC content and various structure of the files in our set of tested files. We have also added new commands and features requested by our partners. We added command line only import, so you can make calls from your custom modules, including Lisp. Also some improvements to the user friendliness, as the import is a time-consuming task that may take minutes with larger files. And that is where the significant performance enhancement comes in. In addition to that, we plan to offer IFC export to developers during Q2. As the reader is an almost ready-to-use end-user feature, ready to package with your OEM product, the writing is much more complicated. That is because you need to describe the building and construction data in a way that complies with the IFC standard. To do this, there's a managed API along with developer documentation. The API covers all that is needed to create an IFC project, IFC geometries, properties, and attributes from DWG content. It is not possible to have an automatic creation of IFC files from DWG because each application stores their specific data and properties in a unique way that makes sense to the discipline and purpose of the OEM application. We have 2 partners testing the beta. We are testing it. Datafloor, the German OEM partner who have made both the reader and writer, they have released the writer in their commercial software for landscape design using the very same API. So talk to us if you are interested in making your AutoCAD OEM-based product IFC compliant.
So yeah, quickly, just thank you very much, David. I just wanted to say a big thanks for your business to everyone. So, I mean, David has mentioned it already. We could grow the OEM business overall worldwide. Again, given the circumstances, this was not easy, to be honest. I mean, those partners that are on a term-based model, they are doing a little bit better in these times. And so if you are looking for ideas in the future, please consider that, migrate your business into a term-based model. You might also think, what about Autodesk in total? I mean, we had a revenue growth of 16% last year to $3.8 billion US dollars. In billings, we were quite flat on a prominent level of 4.1 billion US dollars and a 29% operational margin. So that is quite prominent. Then I wanted to thank to Jen, David, Paavo, the team. Thank you very much for setting this great Hawaiian presentation up. It was good fun. Special thanks to Michael Focus for getting up so early and wearing his lovely Hawaiian shirt. Marco Gittmann, thank you very much for that presentation. I wanted to really emphasize that and wanted to get you in contact with Marco and Marco's team, because Marco has been doing many discovery workshops with our channel in the last couple of years. And this discovery workshops really have lifted a lot of our partners to the next level of sales. And if you have customers where you always had some issues, where you were a bit shy, or where you wanted to have a partner to go to, especially those a little bit larger partners, Marco Gittmann is a super resource that I would like to get you in contact with. The last sentence I wanted to say is, where is Autodesk going to? Autodesk is going towards the platform business, from desktop to platform. So if you are looking for the future, it is so. We're not moving there overnight or over the weekend, but together we are moving towards a platform business, and we provide you along with the existing OEM models and the great technology that TechSoft is providing. We also provide web APIs, Forge, and tools that enable you to go towards these platform businesses in the next couple of years. Like 29 years ago, where we had AutoCAD on a PC, today we are providing the right tools and we have the right partners for you. So please learn as we go together from a desktop to a platform business. Thank you very much. And yeah, back to you, David.
Thank you, Klaus. That's fabulous. And I think that's it. I'm sorry for overrunning a little bit. Thank you everybody who's attended, made an effort, worn a shirt, and brought a drink. So cheers, and have a good rest of the day. Thank you, everybody.
Likewise.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
I put everybody off mute.
Everyone.
You can all say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. Got some.